Odoo 14 will disrupt the MMC market around the ERP world. So today we're going to see different elements that prove that Odoo is actually ready to compete with the main actors for the MMC market. So as viewers and followers, don't hesitate to raise your questions in the chatter so that we can go through at the end of the presentations together. Okay? So the main questions today that we raised and that we're going to try to answer together is the following. Why can Odoo now beat SAP? Why is now Odoo ready to compete with the main actors of this market? In order to answer these questions, we've been identifying 4 main actors, 4 key factors actually of this change and 4 different elements. The first actually element is the fact that Odoo is fully integrated as an ERP. That is the first value proposition of this company, of this business model, is saying that from years and years, our R&D, the tech team, the R&D team has been coded the different applications one another to make sure that there is a native integration between the 2 apps. That's something that is still actually emphasizing the added value of Odoo in the markets. Second, it tackles the product itself, the solution itself. So we know that years after years, we release a new enterprise version that makes sure that we come up with new features, that we come up with new ideas. We are basically reflecting what the market is going to be like. Third is the fact that Odoo is actually related to the IT innovation around the world of the ERP. The world is actually changing, the world is evolving, and at some point we need to reflect and to integrate these new changes inside our product. And the last factor that is showing that Odoo is the right solution for MMC is the fact that we approach this modernity, this new technology with a team that is responsible to implement an agile methodology for the project implementing MMC projects. The first point that we tackled together is the AllinOne Software. The idea that we had from previous software was pretty much the one that you see on the screen. There was basically an environment, an architecture, an IT architecture with some different softwares together, where we got a lot actually of issues. The first issue was a technical issue. You had to connect different softwares to one another. So that means you had to maintain these connectors and connection. You had to upgrade them as soon as you get actually a new release and a new version from one another. So that wasn't actually convenient and that was easy to maintain. The second issues were actually tackling the financial aspect. So as soon as basically you need to maintain every connector one another, it means a lot actually of developments to maintain in terms of maintenance costs. Second, it means that if a project manager, a sales manager, or somebody from the board of directors, for instance, need to get access to every single software in the architecture of the company, that means that we need to get multiple access and multiple logins that we need to pay actually to the editors of the solution that has been picked up. So at some point, what we do offer here to do is to get all the same idea using one login and tackling different business models together. And the third aspect is about actually the product and technology itself. The idea is to get one training for the same software and not actually to get different key users that do have basically the knowledge and that need to train the team and then to train from another software. Here it's something that is centralized, where the knowledge is actually available for everyone, and where we can basically evolve with the solution together as part of the company. The next element why Odoo will be disruptive on the MMC market is because the product has been evolving. The product, years over years, our R&D development team released one enterprise version, and this, especially this Odoo 14 enterprise version, will be the release connecting new features actually that would be beneficial, that would benefit for our MMC clients. The first feature is the spreadsheet feature. The spreadsheet will benefit in terms of flexibility in the system. So that means today we offer our clients the possibility and the option to report and to configure and customize their own reporting based on Odoo model inside the solution so that they can tailor-make the different reporting that they need. I suggest that we have a look together on the demo. So here I enter an Odoo database with the different applications around, okay? So we're gonna make an example as a sales manager, okay? I need to have an overview of my different salespeople, my different sales team, to know what they forecast for the 3 coming months, for example, okay? So that I can create my own reporting and to get my different KPIs so that I can make right decisions. So here I enter the CRM application, okay? You guys recognize the CRM pipeline view, okay? I'm gonna have a look at the pivot table view here on the right, okay? And I configure my pivot table. So far it's the same as usual. I'm connecting the customers with the expected closing dates per month. Okay, so on one side we do have the customer's name, okay, and the other side we do have the expected month. Okay, so the idea here is to make it dynamic. Okay, the idea would be for this report to evolve and to make it live. Okay, so what I'm going to create, I'm going to insert here this pivot table into a new spreadsheet, okay? I get different options. Either I create a new spreadsheet, either I insert in an existing one. Here, it's part of the sales report 2020. So I'm going to insert in this existing report a new sheet, okay? I can rename this new sheet, for instance. I'm going to call sales per or forecast per customer per month, 2020, okay? Okay, and then here, I'm create actually a new change in the system to show you that this report is dynamic. So I'm gonna change the expected revenue in the CRM, okay? I'm gonna find back my opportunity which is related. I'm gonna change the expected revenue into 100,000. All right. And then I'm going to have an overview. So I go back to the document applications where every report has been stored, okay, based on different files, based on different workspaces, etc. You can basically, adjust and register as you want. I click on my sales report 2020 here, and then automatically I see that my line for my forecast and expected revenue for AXA Bank, my customer that have been changed, has been moved and shifted from 85,000 to 100,000. So the idea is to say that this report is dynamic, okay? That is changing when the data are changing inside the system are automatically integrated and connected with Odoo. A couple of things that are inherent with Excel as well. We can obviously changes with different characters in bold, in italic, etc. I can insert here different columns on the right to make it margins and computation as I want, for instance. Say I would like to get 5% out of this for this amount, okay? And I can create basically the computation on the right saying I'm gonna get this figure, I'm gonna put times this margin, and then get it for the rest of the, yeah, because I got 0 right here, so I can do the same over here, for instance, get this figure back, up. Voila. So as you see, the idea is to make you compute and make you realize your own report. Okay. The second feature, which is actually disruptive, which is really changing from the previous version in Odoo, is the workflow system. The workflow system is something that is really unique based on everyone's company. So the idea is to help you, basically, when you configure your database and when you make the implementation with your project, is to make it easy for you to configure so that you can configure fast, and so that if there is a need in the future to configure it back or to edit back, it's easy to do, okay? So we'll see together in the system how it works. So I go back here on my same database, okay? And imagine right now I'm a procurement manager, and the idea is to get my different vendor bills validated from the status of purchase order before creating an invoice. All right, so I enter my purchase application here, okay? I get to my confirmed purchase orders already, and if I get one of these, for instance, I can create a new one or get an existing one, and here so I go back to the model of purchase order, and with Odoo Studio, so Odoo Studio is our customization application that we can use from different applications, from transparent applications, okay? And the idea would be here to confirm the button itself or create a vendor bill will be and needs to be approved, okay, by a different group of people. You can select one or multiple groups, okay? And here what has been settled is that I can create the first group of approbation for this action of creating a bill, okay? By a user group which is called accounting billing, or that you can configure and create a new one. And then I can create a second one so that I can give a second approval, okay, for an administrator, for a CFO, or for a member of the management, okay? And so the idea, if I configure this way, the different workflows, is as soon as I'm gonna, click on this, that means that here I'm going to ask for different validation from different people inside a workflow system. So it could be actually the recap for these main features. That is something that MMC already know, but it's something that Odoo can offer, first of all, in the standard of the solution, and secondly, something that we offer from an easy way of configuring it. You see, it took a couple of seconds, couple of minutes actually to show you how it worked. At some point, we can establish a way, configure the report and configure the workflow really easily in Odoo this way, okay? So really the idea is to show the flexibility of the product and to, at some point, give you the opportunity to make your own configuration on your own. The third reason why Odoo can compete on the MMC market today is because Odoo is the new technology. At some point, we are living in a world where the technology is evolving really fast, and where our job as part of an ERP is to embrace and integrate this technology inside our technology. As part of the system, for instance, so in order to become a company 4.0, which is actually updated in the technology world, we have been embracing the business intelligence technology, for instance. So that means that based on the spreadsheet and the different dashboard and the integrated reporting that we saw, we are right now able to provide a business intelligence inside our own software, which is standard in the solution. Same idea for the IoT. So at some point, through the manufacturing application or through the inventory application, we can right now connect different devices with different sensors that can give the data, the accurate data to the database, to Odoo, so that the users of the database can make the right decision at the right time and for the right moment. The third point is the paperless company. That was actually a wish of Odoo, and that's something that we value a lot, that we offer to the company that is using our system. At some point, we are using our document apps on our own because that's something that creates value to get everything centralized and all the different documents inside Odoo digitized automatically. The fourth point tackles the OCR. So the OCR is something that we started and do in order to reduce the number of scans through the paper itself, to get the process automated and really easy to use. And that we did the same for the tickets to enter the different expenses in the company as well, so that we can recognize automatically the different amounts, the different new fields in a paper ticket. Last but not least, in terms of company 4.0, is the fact that the connectivity today is really important. With Odoo, you are able to make the right decisions at the right time for the right purpose, everywhere and at any time. That's something that we value a lot, is that with a smartphone and with a tablet, we can make the right decision and we can access basically the data that you need. Last but not least is the Agile methodology. So as part actually of, the methodology that we use for smaller project for SMEs, for the Quick Start methodology, the Agile methodology that appeals to MMC remains the same. The background remains the same. So that means we are able to challenge our customers, because at some point they expect from us, and when I say us, could be actually Odoo SA editor or our partners as well, they expect from us to be part of the advisory system as well. They expect us to challenge them and to advise them what is good in the solution and what can be done differently. Okay, that's something which is important. Then obviously the goal is to stick to the standards for different reasons, for financial reasons, regarding the specific development, regarding the delay that we can have with such projects, and for different reasons in terms of agility in the project. That's something that we're looking for as well, is to get flexibility and agility, so that both teams, from the team that will be implementing and from the customers, can go along and can use the different approach, as the testing, as the trainer system, etc. So as a recap, the 4 points to recap and to remember from this presentation are the following. Why is Odoo 14 disruptive? First of all, because Odoo is fully integrated. Second, because the product is strong and getting stronger over time, so can answer the needs of the different clients and MMC world. Third, because we embrace the different technologies that are happening around the world, and we integrate it in our system straight away in the standard of the solution. And fourth, because we've been finding that the Agile methodology is the methodology that needs to go along with our clients to implement their project. Thank you for your attendance.
Hello. I'm Antoine, and I'm going to give you a summary of the presentation by Adrien today on why Odoo 14 will disrupt the ERP MMC market. Oh, by the way, do you know what MMC market stands for? MMC. MMC is the mid-market corporate. Okay, so, and it's interesting to see, it is interesting to see that Odoo is expanding into this new market. And not just expanding into it, but actually is going to make a killing against the main players, the usual suspects in this market. And Adrien was making a presentation on why is it so? What are the strengths of Odoo, and in particular of the latest release, Odoo 14, that justify this ability to disrupt the market? Now, Adrien, thank you, because you have done my job very easy. Your presentation was extremely well structured, all very clear, so it's easy for me to summarize it. Actually, there are 4 strengths of Odoo and of Odoo 14 that make it a very powerful combination, a very compelling proposition. The first strength is all about full integration. And when we talk about integration, it's just not technical integration that all of you know, but it's also the financial integration. You only get one invoice. It makes a tremendous difference, a tremendous simplification for the customers. It's also the access and logins. You just have one login for all the Odoo apps. Can you imagine the difference? Okay. And for training, once you get used to the Odoo environment, it's the same in all the apps anyway. So, one training for the environment open the doors to all the apps. Full integration, amazing, okay? That's a big feature that makes a strong case for Odoo and for Odoo 14. But if you add to this, and the next one, which is constant new features, there is a constant flow of innovation. Now, Adrien has been explaining in details the spreadsheet and the workflows, and we've seen, thanks to Adrian, how this is improving and facilitating life for large organizations. That's not finished, you know. You can add on the list this one, the technology. And it's interesting to see that Odoo products, Odoo apps are completely on top of the technology and of the technology development of the day. Whether you want to talk about business intelligence, artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, OCR, and many more technological developments, Odoo is on top of it. So, you know, and that was interesting, you know, with the claim that we are the technology. It's all embedded into our products, into the apps. Last but not least, you have the Agile Methodology. Of course, innovating, creating things, being on top of the technology is not possible with a traditional methodology. Being agile is the condition for innovating and for finding new things and for keeping a constant stream of innovation. So when you combine those 4 features together, you have Odoo and you have the power of Odoo 14 release. Now, just a minute. Some of you might object to the macho, you know, kind of representation of Odoo. And I fully agree with you. You know, there are different ways and there should be room for different sensitivities here. So let me show another version of the same picture. And this is this one, okay? On the age of diversity, and this is something a bit different. But actually, it's not that different, because whether you like the masculine or the feminine version, it all boils down to the same key concept: full integration, constant innovation, state-of-the-art technology, and agile. And when you put it all together, you understand why Odoo is going to disrupt the MMC market. Okay, so thank you very much. Stay in line, because now we have the Q&A question. Ciao.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for watching. Adrian, thank you for this great presentation.
Thanks, Nils. How?
Went all right?
Yeah.
Great. So we saw a few questions coming back and forth. Well, actually, your presentation was so good. We have a few minutes left, so we'll try to cover 1 or 2. But afterwards, in the chat, there will be an extended Q&A where you'll be watching with your team.
For sure, we attend basically the different questions that you may have so that we can discuss one another.
Great. Well, let's maybe just go for one question.
Yeah.
Didn't appear in the chat, but I think for everyone it's quite interesting to know. You showed the product being ready for the mid-market and corporate.
Yeah.
How would you explain if Odoo as a company is ready with you and your team?
That's a good question, basically. So we saw the different involvement, basically the improvement of the product we saw compared to the Odoo 12, the Odoo 13, the Odoo 14. You see that the product is getting stronger and stronger, and it's totally tailor-made for our MMC markets. But it's not only enough just the product, it's a team behind. Everything starts with a team and with a staff behind. We started the MMC department 15 months ago, and this team has been growing extremely fast. We are now 7 people. We do have 7 salespeople organizing the different approach, the different pre-sales cycle. We are working with analysts, pre-sales analysts who devote their time to the customer's expertise. We do have business analysts implementing with project directors. So you see that the environment basically of tackling these kind of customers is different from the quick start approach. It's the quick start approach, but tailor-made for every single project that you may have with Odoo.
Sounds good. Sounds like the team is ready to take up some heavy questions. So as soon as the Q&A is in, everyone can join, but I suspect that this team will be ready for any kind of questions during the rest of the day.
For sure, yeah. We with the MMC team, we are ready to basically to answer all the questions that you may have, and don't hesitate to discuss with us. We are here actually to help you find solutions. That's what we do basically on a daily basis at Odoo.
Okay. Maybe just very quick final question.
Yeah.
Now, a partner or an implementer considers to approach a larger customer but has experience only with SMEs, I know you at Odoo has experience with SMEs, what would you tell them to, well, get ready to approach such an SME? What can they expect, sorry, a mid-market corporate client,
Yeah.
what can they expect from their first discussions?
I think if I got a couple of advice to tell you guys is the following. The strategy that remains the same at some point is to build a relationship with the customers, gotta be SMEs, startup, scale up, and mid-market corporate as well. But at some point, we need to go along and we need to build the relationship and the partnership with them. And that's why for me is the main difference to tackle that kind of customers. And I would use this word again, it's the partnership that we need to build up all together.
That sounds great. Well, I see that a link has already been placed in the chat by our colleagues, so I'm going to let you jump in that chat together with your colleagues. Thank you everyone for watching and have a great Odoo experience.
Thank you, Guy. Thank you, Nils.